So welcome to this presentation. Well, I cannot really call it a presentation, but it's an how to attract people to the DLUX project. I'm Maxime Coulombe, a committer in the DLUX project, and soon, I guess, project leader, but there's some... you are? I am? All right. I thought there was some few politics problem with... but
It's fine. I think Colin just wanted to be
okay.
official to the mayor.
All right. All right, so I'm the project leaders now. So this presentation will be very short because my goal is not really to talk a lot, because the real thing that I want is to have a common discussion with all of you, because DLUX have problems right now, because there's not a lot of contributors to this project right now. If you take the times to look at the number of patch on Garrick that are being merged for the Barium release, I've condemned, and it's about 45 commits for 5 contributors. So it's not a lot for a complete development cycle. Of course, this metric is not really good, because we know that the quantity is not better than quality, but in this case it's a good indicator that something might be wrong. So why should we have some problem with contribution? I have a few guesses. So my goal here is really just to expose the problematic and try to open doors to discussion. So I'm not trying to pinpoint some things. I'm probably wrong of what I will say. It's just assumption. So one thing, it's because of internal commitment. Right now, it's really what the current contributors are facing, where DLUX is really a side project for everyone. So if our boss needs us somewhere, we need to do it. And depending on the side of the project, well, it can be. The problem will be that we will not have time to contribute to DLUX, even answering question or ERC or email. But we're trying. Another thing could be that there's no interest in web development in OpenDelight community. Again, if it's a case, there's not a lot of things that we can do, but we can try to bring people who have a certain knowledge in web development, front-end web development. Other things for people who will have tried to starting with DLUX, but they run blocked. One thing, they can be find the project too complex or badly designed. For front-end people who are trying to get to DLUX, there are the things that they work with. It's ground, gulp, and they just need to run a command, and the project will be served somewhere. They can try, modify file, and have direct feedback. But in DLUX, we have a Maven layer because we need to create the bundle at the end. So the structure is different. So for newcomers, it can be problematic. And for the badly designed, well, we will see in a few slides. I will showcase a little bit the current architecture. So if you see something wrong in it, please give us feedback, so we will be able to work together to improve it. And the last thing that I think can be a problem is the documentation, incomplete or useless. This is a side effect of the main problematics. If there are not enough contribution inside the project, if there's no coder to code, they will have no coders to write documentation, or at least they will do the basic minimum, and it will be docs for devs. For developers, we know how to work with DLUX. So what can we do to solve this? Trying to solve the problematics. It is the reason of this talk today. So, so the current state, I will just talk a little bit about DLUX. It's because I want that everyone here has a common knowledge about it, so we all be able to talk and try to gain solution and be able to find action. So, oh, all right, this from me. Sorry, I thought I was put more information of this slide, but it's okay. What is DLUX? DLUX is known by everyone as the user interface of OpenDLite. Precisely, it's not just the user interface, it's a framework to help OpenDLite project to build a user interface as the same state will be Swing for Java or Qt for C++. And another goal of DLUX is to be a uniform platform to connect a multiple of diverse projects. Like in OpenDLite, you have a lot of projects. I don't remember the number of projects for Barium. I think it's around 60. I'm not sure. But all those projects have a different view of what needs to be displayed. And it's the goal of DLUX to merge everything to have something uniform with the web server, within the web server. So DLUX is based on AngularJS. So the reason why it's because of the modularity of AngularJS. It's the first keyword. It's the keyword to understand in DLUX. It's modularity. Everything is, sorry, I just will try to remove this. Oh, come on. All right. So the goal is really to, modularity is really the keywords to understand in DLUX, and the architecture was based in the same way. So basically, the way it's work, DLUX is just modules. Everything in DLUX is a module. And when we put all those modules together, we are able to have a user interface, the user interface for OpenDLite. Like you can see, there's a few static module that bar navigation, layout, cores, and dependencies. And inside them, you have the DLUX module. There are the internal and external modules. So an example of internal module will be the nose module, topologies, or Yang UI. An external module is a feature provided by another project. So it can be UFC, OVSDB, group-based policies. Yeah. So this is how this is designed. We use require.js, so the AMD approach, asynchronous module definition. So this way we are able to just load the files that needs to be used at the current moment, but it might be changed in the future because we're facing a bottleneck right now with this approach, because a lot of projects have a lot of files, and when it's time to load their projects, DLUX is slowed down because there's a lot of HTTP call that is done to fetch those files. So we will need to probably create bundles so it will be easier for the network and will be helpful for DLUX to not being slowed down. So with this, the current way more module DLUX have, easier it will feel for the users. So it's not really a good thing. Yeah, so I will finish this short presentation with the Brown proposal that I think will be useful for the DLUX project to be able to have other peoples to be involved in it, because the most part of OpenDLite is Java. It's so it will be a good thing, I think, to be able to use more technologies, more up-to-date web technologies like Emacs script sys transpiler or Typescript transpiler. because with those new with those new technologies, there is more oriented object programming approach. So, so people would start with a good knowledge of OP can feel a little bit more in ease in that, and it will be a good thing also because we'll be able to use the future of JavaScript right now, because Emacscript is the standard for the newest version of JavaScript. So it's not every browser that provide all the feature yet. So there are tools that allow you to use those feature by doing some black magics to to let you use it without having a browser that support them. For example, could be the class keyword, use use async function or decorator as the same as Java, or you have arrow function. You can deal with the destructure also. So there's a lot of interesting feature that can be used if we use Emacscript sys or Typescript transpiler. And also a transpiler can compile to AMD. So this way, even if we do the change, they won't affect at all the other modules, because at the end it will still be JavaScript, and it will also have all the requirement that is needed by require.js to be able to load these modules. So a reason that's why it can also be useful, it's in your code you will not need to use a define or require callback definition. So your code won't be in anonymous function anymore. So it will be more cleaner. So at the end it will be easier to read and understand for everyone. So an example here is an example of the current way to load a module inside the DLUX. So you have the definition where you set all your dependency that you need, and you inject them inside an anonymous function, and inside of it is the classic AngularJS toolchain. And if we try to see the same thing with the Typescript, I don't know if we can clearly see, but you'll see that it's a little more easier to understand what's going on. Now there's no callback definition. Everything is at the same level, if I can say it this way. So yeah, there it is. So this is everything that I've wanted to say today, because my goal wasn't to talk a lot. I just wonder my goals. I just wanted to have a feedback of everyone who's there, who tried to use DLUX, or try why they are blocked if they are blocked anywhere or something like that. So yes. So if anyone have question about the DLUX feedback or anything. How many people works on the DLUX project? About 2 and 4 people. No more. So that's why I'm trying to have some feedback and to be able to find a way to make people want to contribute to DLUX.
You're seeking more contributors?
Yeah, I am. I think most of the patch are mine for the beryllium cycle. So, yeah. Any other questions? Yes?
Is there any other framework or plugin used to have an interface of OpenDLUX?
If there's no, there's no other interface to see things inside OpenDLUX, but maybe others company have their own things because OpenDLUX provide REST APIs. So if you're able to consume those API, you can display the data that you want. So that's the way DLUX work. There's nothing in the backend work done about. Instead, just serve files. Everything is loaded by using the REST API given by netconf. I think, yeah. Other questions? Yes.
What type of documentation is already online can be consulted?
The current documentation is how to be able to create an external modules for, yeah. It's to be able to create an external module for beryllium, lithium. There's an archetype generator to do that also. I think there's also a documentation on how using Yang UI. Yeah, that's a good idea. If I do this, we'll be able to see it. Yeah. So yeah, for beryllium, you have how to create a DLUX module for an external project. You have the same thing for lithium, and also Yang UI. Yeah. This is all the documentation you can find. There's not really a lot of documentation on how to get into DLUX to contribute to it. The only way that you can do that is by looking at the code, and if you have questions or things that you don't understand, go on the ERC or sending an email to the DLUX dev mail list. This will be the only way for now. Yes?
Maybe a way to improve the visibility of the usefulness of this module, maybe to do an interface of what are the common questions used by the community about DLUX with some documentation about it, like how to begin with this framework and things like this. Like if someone could ask something on IRC, you can add it so next people that will have the same question will see it, and the processes of using DLUX may be faster this way, and that can attract people to use.
There was a video that happened during the last summit. There was a hands-on session on DLUX, and I think that video is there on YouTube. Probably we can put it on the wiki, and if anyone wants to see it, it's a hands-on session where you are developing an application for DLUX. So being a platform, say you have 5 different projects in OpenDaylight or 10 different projects. If they want to have their own UI, they have their own Yang model. All they have to do is they already have the platform up and running. They have to bring out their application and deploy it on a Karaf as a new bundle. It'll show up in the existing platform. So that's the idea.
That's a good idea. Other questions, feedback, anything? All right, so it's all right. So I think we are about 30 minutes ahead, so you can. All right. So thanks for be there and have a good meal. You guess. So my goal here is really just to expose the problematic and try to open doors to discussion. So I'm not trying to pinpoint some things. I'm probably wrong of what I will say. It's just assumption. So one thing it's because of internal commitment. Right now, it's really what the current contributors are facing, where DLUX is really a side project for everyone. So if our boss needs us somewhere, we need to do it. And depending on the side of the project, well, it can be. The problem will be that we will not have time to contribute to DLUX, even answering question or ERC or email, but we're trying. Another thing could be that there's no interest in web development in OpenDelight community. I've condemned, and it's about 45 commits for 5 contributors. So it's not a lot for a complete development cycle. Of course, this metric is not really good because we know that the quantity is not better than quality, but in this case, it's a good indicator that something might be wrong. So why should we have some problem with contribution? I have a few. So this presentation will be very short because my goal is not really to talk a lot, because the real thing that I want is to have a common discussion with all of you, because DLUX have problems right now because there's not a lot of contributors to this project right now. If you take the times to look at the number of patch on Garrick that are being merged for the Barium release. So welcome to this presentation. Well, I cannot really call it a presentation, but it's on how to attract people to the DLUX project. I'm Maxime Coulombe, a committer in the DLUX project, and soon, I guess, project leader, but there's some... you are? I am? All right. I thought there was some few politics problem with... but
It's fine. I think Colin just wanted to be
okay.
official to the mayor.
All right. All right, so I'm the project leader now.